Can a person have an MRI if they have any metal in their body? I have clips on my fallopian tubes. I've had several MRIs. They usually see them and ask, "Do you have metal on you?" I reply that they are clips to sterilize me. Nope, never been sucked out by the MRI's magnetic pole. Most metal that goes into the body is titanium. It's not magnetic. I have had 2 previous spinal fusions and have a bunch of titanium rods and screws. The metal is non-ferrous and won't attract to the magnets. It depends on the type of metal. Many medical devices implants are made of MRI-safe metal. 2012 I had C5-C6 disc replacement. I was told that it was titanium. Few years later I got another MRI on my neck. It got warm and was vibrating. It wasn't uncomfortable, so I kept going and told the tech after, and he was mortified. Had another surgery to fuse the failed disc replacement, and the doc said he stuck a magnet to it after hearing what I told him and the huge white spot on the MRI. Wouldn't metal rods generally be titanium rather than steel? Please note that it is never your job to decide whether any implant is acceptable for the MRI scan you are undergoing. Always answer the questions you're asked fully. The person doing the measurement will tell you if it is okay. I had metal placed in my body when I broke my collarbone, but it wasn't magnetic. I didn't have an MRI while I had it, but I assume it would be fine as long as it's not magnetic. I have had a brain MRI and have 2 facial piercings other than ears. One piercing can easily be removed, but the other is an implant. Before my MRI, the techs asked about metal. I pointed them to my piercings and they waved this magnet around them to make sure they were titanium and not ferrous. Funnily enough, they weren't worried about them at all. But they did highly recommend I take my bra off, because the clips and hardware at the time in this BS have an about 50 chance in their experience if being a ferrous metal. I had to be in a medical gown anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. Tattoos are a potential minor risk. Apparently one MRI tech warned me that some ink has metals in it and can cause the tattoo to heat up during the MRI. They said to make sure to tell them if I experienced any discomfort. I didn't have a problem, thankfully, other than anxiety about it. I have some screws in my knee from a knee repair in 1990. They did an MRI on my knee around 2012, after an X-ray to verify the size location of the screws. The MRI didn't hurt anything, but the results were inconclusive because of the screws. I had an MRI on my foot a few years later, and that MRI was fine. MRI are not like a cartoon. The magnet won't suck a piece of metal across a room. Small implants are usually fine, but ask. The worry is not the static magnet, it's the applied pulsed magnet when they turn the machine on. It's what makes the loud clicking noise when you are inside. The applied magnetic field can make the metal implant heat up. Maybe make you irritated, maybe cook you from the inside. It won't. Does the same to certain tattoo inks too. The tech operating the MRI can adjust the settings so it's less intense, but it takes longer in the machine. They will also instantly notice you have one even if not declared because it messes up some equipment settings. Had a few with my wedding ring on. Yes, you can feel something, but that's about it. I've had MRIs and I have some pins in my wrist. No problems. Yes, as long as the metal is not ferrous. MRI techs are good at determining what's what when it comes to body implants. Yes, the majority of metal that would end up in your body is not magnetic. Some implanted medical devices are MRI safe. Some aren't. It's important to let the card from surgery, and it's a question to ask your doctor before or after surgery too. But MRI techs usually have to contact the company if they are not 100% that it's MRI safe before doing the scan. Yes, with an asterisk. My partner has a cochlear implant, which comes with a general do not get an MRI warning because they include a magnetic plate. He had to get an MRI on his hand last week. Here's basically how it went down. Him. Okay. I have a cochlear implant. Scheduler. Oh shit. Okay. We need all the specs for your implant. Him. Calls manufacturer, obtains massive PDF of specs and instructions to be given to imaging techs, sends to hospital scheduler. Okay, this won't be a problem, except we need to book you into a specific machine. Don't wear any other metal. On the day of the MRI, they turned the strength of the machine down by a LOT. A usually 15-minute scan took an hour and a half, and he reported a weird feeling on the side with the implant, but no discomfort. He has been made aware that in the event he needs an MRI of his head, they will likely have to surgically remove the metal magnet point under his scalp, and then re-implant it afterwards, which doesn't sound like a good time. Most metal they put in the body is titanium since it has almost the same expansion rate of bone, very resistant to corrosion, doesn't trigger an immune response, and integrates with bone very well. Plus, it's not magnetic, so MRIs won't rip it out horrifyingly. I just had one with 2 plates and 4 screws in my jaw, and a tibial IM nail with 5 screws in my leg. All good. I think surgical implants are mainly titanium, but I was a bit nervous at first.